Wolfpack Nation, today is Friday, and in this case, it's a game day. NC State takes on Virginia on the road tonight, 7:30 p.m. We're going to get you ready for kickoff.
You are Locked On Wolfpack, your daily podcast on the NC State Wolfpack, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome back to another episode of Locked On Wolfpack, free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's opening sponsor is LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. That's why LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. Terms and conditions apply. Happy Friday. Happy game day. As always, I'm Grayson Boone. Joining me is former Wolfpack defensive tackle Kenton Gibbs. And Kenton, kind of a rare occurrence for NC State, as we do have a couple of these this year. It's a Friday night game day. Now, we received some news on Thursday that actually made this matchup perhaps a bit more interesting. This is going to lead us directly into Fan Friday. First question comes from our guy, Trevor G. This is on Twitter. He says, any thoughts on Jordan Houston's sudden departure from the program? Looks like Mr. Allen will be getting those touches we've been asking for. So, yes, the breaking news here that happened on Thursday afternoon. Starting running back Jordan Houston has decided to redshirt for the remainder of the 2023 season. Of course, only through 3 games here, he's still eligible to do so. Comes as a little bit of a shock, I guess, in the timing of the whole thing. Jordan Houston has been RB1 effectively through the first 3 games. However, we sort of saw his touches start to taper off just last weekend against VMI. It kind of got the folks talking coming into this week. Lo and behold, Jordan Houston has decided to step away from the program. He will redshirt, and ultimately is believed that he will transfer to finish out his college career elsewhere. Kenton, I'll let you get your thoughts in here, and then I'll circle back.
Okay, let me first start off with the aspect of speaking directly to Jordan Houston. Mr. Houston, thank you so very much for your time with NC State. You know, you've given us everything that you've had, and there's no questions about that. When we face severe injuries and problems, and we didn't know where we were going to go in running back, I remember that year where everybody and their mama got hurt. That was Jordan Houston's best year. So thank you to Mr. Houston. Now, to the fans, I don't understand some of it. My problem with some of the fans is if you belong to that first group that wanted him out of running back 1 territory, that was saying he may not be the guy at running back and all that good stuff, how can you then turn around and criticize Doran for, oh my God, he's leaving? Oh, what a poop show of a program. He's leaving. Well, why are we listen, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Jordan Houston has been here and been grinding it out for years. If it's clear that it's not working out for him and us, and he decides, I want something different than what NC State can provide, that's fine. What's the problem? There shouldn't be a problem. There should be, hey, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. Cool. Wish you the best. Let's move on. I truly don't get how you can both have this disdain for him getting touches and playing and also be upset that he's gone now. It's very clear that in terms of putting the ball under your arm and gaining yardage, he's not the best in our program at that right now. And if he's like, I'm demanding RB1 touches, what else? What can you do there? So, that's my spiel there from every angle. Again, thank you, Mr. Houston. Wish you the best of luck wherever you go. You know what I mean? We're excited to see what Michael Alley and Kendrick Raphael can do next man up. That's all I got on it.
I think a couple things are true here. I think it's important that NC State fans do express at least some sort of gratitude for the amount of work that he has put into this program. That's something Reggie Gillespie mentioned as well. Jordan Houston has been here for 4 or 5 years now. He waited his turn. I think that's a key piece of this too. He could have very easily left years ago to pursue perhaps a better opportunity wherever that may be. He wanted to stick in this program, earn his shot, and then ultimately he did. There has to be some level of respect here for his effort and his attitude to stay in this program and give it everything he's got, because he believed he was capable of doing so. And now listen, the other half of this that I also think is true, I think it's also true that he wasn't what we needed him to be. That's okay. And we are maybe in a better spot now with Michael Allen and with Kendrick Raphael. I think those two have potential talent through the roof. There's a lot to be excited about there. And something that you've heard from both of us on the show is we've been demanding more from Michael Allen. We believe that he should be the bell cow running back. And so in us saying that, that's just simply us calling a spade a spade. We believe Michael Allen's ceiling is higher than Jordan Houston, and that is why we've been asking for more Michael Allen.
And I just want to say this. Anybody who knows me, who knew this show before Grayson even got here, saw me online defending Jordan Houston multiple times, because everybody named Mama was screaming their head off at one point. He's just a terrible back. He just can't get it done. I'm like, he gets the things done that you don't see in the stat sheet. You cannot palpably count for how much the things that he gets done that are outside of stat sheet mean. And so I want to make this clear. I'm not a guy who felt like, oh, we can't do any better. We can't. Jordan Houston is the best that we can ever expect in terms of a back. However, I always gave the young man his respect in terms of this is a quality player. This is a player, I would say, above average to good at times. But the reality is, when you're looking at a running back one, I want more than good. I want, hey, this is a guy. He can go. You get him the ball, and I'm, in primetime TV, I don't want to leave my seat if I think that it's going to that guy. And he just wasn't that.
Yeah. So point being here is, we wish Jordan Houston the absolute best, but we also feel like this decision here is probably mutually beneficial to both Jordan and the football program. He will likely succeed wherever he lands next. And I believe our running back room is now in maybe even a better spot than a lot of people would like to believe. The future of the running back room is bright. And I think you're going to get to be able to see that a little quicker than anticipated now, which is a good thing. It'll be more repetitions for these guys that will benefit them, further down the road this season and also in the next couple seasons. So we wish Jordan the best. And at the same time, it is now Michael Allen's season, and that is a big deal. We're excited to see what he can do from here. Now, that first question was a little bit long-winded. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to get to the rest of our questions in just 1 minute. Our first sponsor today is LinkedIn. These days, every new potential hire can feel like a high-stakes wager for your small business. You want to be 100% certain that you have the best access to the best qualified candidates available. And that's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs helps find the right people for your team faster and for free. Add your job and use the purple hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile to spread the word that you are hiring. And then use simple tools like screening questions to make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience so you can quickly prioritize who you would like to interview and hire. It's why small businesses rate LinkedIn Jobs #1 in delivering quality hires versus leading competitors. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the qualified candidates that you want to talk to faster. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply. All right, now jumping right back into these Fan Friday questions. Our next one comes from Andy Alcon in reference to tonight's game at Virginia. He says, are we going to come to play? If so, we win easily. If not, trouble. And yes, this is a lot like what we discussed just yesterday and how we'll probably finish this episode as well. You hear us talk about this a lot, and especially last week. A lot of these games, it's not about the other team. It's about us. And this is another example of this tonight up in Charlottesville. NC State has the advantage in so many different facets. And if we come to play, if we get off the bus and we execute the way we're supposed to, we handle our assignments the way we're supposed to, and we play the complementary football that we are used to playing, it will be a win, point blank, period. If not, if we play with our food, like we mentioned yesterday, last year's Boston College game, if we mess around for too long, if we get a little bit too conservative and are not able to produce, you could see a result that is ultimately devastating to this season.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. This is a must win. You cannot lose this game. You cannot lose this game. This is not a game. And I mean this with everything in my heart and soul. If Doran knows what's good for him in this program, they go out and they roll. Because if this game is too close, or if NC State loses this game, the apathy towards football will be permanently set in darn near at that point. This is also a game, again, Calandria can get it done. Lots of arm talent, has some wheels on them, has some guts and moxie to them. If you play this game wrong, if you come in saying, oh, it's Virginia, they're going to roll over, yeah, okay. Try that if you want to. You'll get hit in the mouth. You're going into their territory, into their home, trying to take something from them. So I 1,000% agree, Andy. This team needs to show up and be prepared.
Right. Next one here from our guy, Dennis Holshoe. A little bit of the same sentiment, but he says, I'm a little surprised that y'all are throwing this much shade to UVA, an ACC opponent. That said, I respect your analysis. I hope y'all are right. Football is a game of momentum. I take any game on the road seriously. So we need to take care of business early and don't give them room to build momentum. Yes, exactly. Hit the nail on the head here. Now, I will say, if it sounds like we're throwing a bit of shade to UVA, I do think it is because it's warranted. This is a team that is struggling in every aspect of the sport of football right now. Offense is struggling. Defense is struggling. It's been rough for the Cavaliers so far. So it is imperative that NC State does not ease up on them this evening up in Charlottesville. This is NC State against NC State effectively. Now, they need to go out and take the wind out of their sails, play NC State football, and leave Virginia with a win.
Was it Dick Vermeil with the Saints or somebody along those lines that said, we can't run the ball and we can't pass the ball. But other than that, we're doing great. Offensively, we're doing great. Listen, with all due, I give every opponent their due respect. And I have talked about the fact that NC State cannot, let me repeat this one more time and look y'all dead in your souls here, cannot let this team get them into third and long consistently because their speed package rivals the best in the country. There's no doubt about that. With that being said, we are being honest about this team. Again, dead last in the conference, offensively and defensively. That's not us saying we should take this team lightly. That's saying we need to show up, take this game serious, and as they would say, I may be from Detroit, but I grew up in the Southern Baptist family. Get right, church, and let's go home. That's what we need to see.
What we have done and always will do on this show is tell you how it is. If it's a spade, we're going to call it a spade. If it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Virginia is one of the worst teams, not just in the ACC, but in the entire country so far this year.
Especially out the Power 5.
NC State needs to come in, handle business, and simply leave it there. There's no reason to come in here and beat ourselves and find ourselves in a tough spot in the fourth quarter on the road. Come in, handle business, get out. It is quite literally that simple. Last question here before we move into Kenton's keys and predictions here. This one comes from Michael Wiggins, 6133. He says, totally agree. We need to handle these guys by the spread or greater. If we don't, we have some serious issues that should be addressed. I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that Dave Doran goes into this game with the mindset that our defense can carry us to a win. So let's be conservative on offense and not risk turnovers because we can win a defensive low-scoring contest. He says he hopes he's wrong, but he is so conservative that he just can't seem to get away from it, even with an eyes offense. Well, we spoke a little bit about this yesterday as well. Dave Doran's recipe is fairly well known at this point. He likes to get a lead and then conserve that lead from there on out. And I believe what I said yesterday as well is this is a great opportunity for the offense to get a rhythm and then stay in that rhythm all night long. Yeah. Virginia's defense, I believe I tweeted it earlier on Thursday, They're the 11th worst defense in yards per game allowed in the entire country, and it's nearly 500 yards a game. This is a massive opportunity for the NC State offense to get rolling, stay rolling, and then roll out of here with a win.
Absolutely. And Coach, I hope they coach. I'll say this. I know that as a head coach, people are always going to talk about you. Good, bad, ugly, and different. People always got something to say. I hope that Dave Doeren reads some of these things and really takes it seriously. Really takes seriously this thought of he's too conservative and all that good stuff, because this is a game. This should be a stat game.
Yes.
This should be a put your foot on the gas and keep mashing until that final whistle blow.
Absolutely. In just 1 second here, we're going to get to Kenton's Keys and our final predictions after another word from our sponsors. Our second sponsor of the day is FanDuel. Snap into the action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can get $200 back in bonus bets guaranteed when you place a $5 bet. Yes, that's right. $200 back in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is super easy to use, and there's a wide range of betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL. All right, now finishing up this week and getting you ready for game day tonight up in UVA, we're going to get into Kenton's Keys here, starting with the offense.
Jump out to an early lead. Dennis, we agreed with you that football is a game of momentum. You know how to kind of suck the momentum out of the stadium, how to take the air out of there, have a commanding first drive, have a kickoff return that opens it up. I don't know, Mr. Gray. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Who knows? But very seriously, jump out to an early lead, kind of take the air out of the stadium. Just kind of get it going early. Let the fans know early, hey, my brothers, sisters, friends in Christ, it's going to be a long night. It's going to be a real long night, right? That's what you want to do there. So score first is a definite goal in this game. Next thing, with all due respect to Mr. Houston, again, we wish him the best. I hope he finishes up everything academically in the precise way he wants to. The show goes on. The running backs have to show up and produce in this game for at least 90 yards. And let me tell you why. I do have a feeling that Doeren will get a lead and then say, all right, let's take our foot off the gas here once we're up 21 or so. And with that being said, or maybe 17 to 21 or so, the backs are going to have to put this game away. If they don't put this game away, it won't be put away, if you catch my drift. Like, that's just the reality of what we're looking at here. So the running backs combined for 90 yards. The last offensive key, stay ahead of the sticks. If we average 5 or more yards on first down, that means that we are always on time, on target. I'm not kidding when I say Virginia's speed package is something to be feared. That is not a joke. That is not hyperbole. If you let those boys get on the field time and time again, they will get home. It's not a matter of if, but when. It's an inevitability if you keep them on the field that they're going to get home. Ask Joe Milton. Ask JMU's quarterback. Ask Tagovailoa, the little Tagovailoa brother. If you leave them on the field, that third and long group will get it done. However, if we're always in a situation where they got to play base defense, now we're in the money. Now we're in a little bit better of a position. So average 5 yards plus on first down plays, important key.
I want to hammer home key number 1 here. Get out to a lead early. That will open up so many possibilities for the offense to, roll there on throughout the rest of the game. We don't want to have to play from behind, especially not on the road against an ACC opponent. Get off the bus, take the wind out of the sails for Virginia, get a lead, and just steamroll all the way through all 4 quarters. We have the talent to dominate this game from the first quarter to the fourth quarter. We have mismatches in our favor all over the field. We need to exploit them and make sure we are cruising to a comfortable win. Now, Kenton, here we go, getting into the defense.
Absolutely. Stop the run. Average less than 3 yards per carry. Now, I know what some people are thinking. Kenton, That seems intense. Well, if you're thinking that, you haven't heard the shows this week. They're averaging 1.9.
Yeah.
So the less than 3 yards, even if they got 2.9, they've basically increased their average by about 33% per run against NC State. Number 2, get home. Get to the QB. Get to the QB. It doesn't matter if it's Musket or Calandria. Does not matter. It does not matter. What this team needs to do, what State needs to do, get home. I don't care if it's by straight 3-man rush. I don't care if it's by a dog. Get home. Because both of these quarterbacks, you got to think about the situation. Musket is coming back off injury, which means what? He's not going to be 100% healthy.
Right.
He's going to want to protect whatever it is that he hurt. He's going to be thinking to himself, oh, man, if I land wrong. Because y'all, what most people don't understand about quarterbacks do not take any hits at all in football outside of game day. Not a single hit. In practice, it is unheard of for coaches to say, hey, the quarterback's live, take him all the way to the ground. Unheard of. So with that being said, if we are getting home, that'll shake up Musket. Let's look at the other guy, Anthony Calandria. He is a freshman. If you get home against him, he'll develop happy feet. He all of a sudden won't want to make those reads anymore because, oh, man, every time I get to read number 2, somebody's right here on me. I need to get rid of the ball quicker, which means what? I need to get rid of the ball quicker in lieu of making the right decision. Get home. That's vitally important. And then the last one. One thing that I'm not the baseball guy on this show, Grayson is, but one thing that people say a lot about a really good pitcher is they spread out the opposing team's hits.
Right.
You don't get multiple in one inning, right? You get 1 or 2 guys, one guy gets on base, and that's about it for that inning. Maybe you get 2 on, and that's the jam that he's in, but that's it. Then you don't see any other hits for the next couple innings, all that good stuff. Let me tell you the importance of that. If we let them get momentum and stack drives back to back to back, oh, no, they've scored a touchdown. Oh, no, they've scored a field goal after it. What happens? They build confidence. You cannot have that in this game. You cannot have that. This has to be a game where, again, any success that they have, few and far in between, needs to be space between when they have a drive where we're like, all right, I guess we could rush 3 this drive and let them figure it out. It needs to be few and far in between.
Key number 3 here is essentially taking both the team and the crowd out of the game in one fell swoop. But if I could add another point of emphasis here, it would just be simply to dominate. Yeah. UVA's offensive line is a mess, to put it lightly. They have struggled mightily. This is a game where you could see Davin Vann take over this game time and time again. The blitz packages that Tony Gibson's going to draw up could wreak havoc all night, whether it is Musket or whether it is Calandria. So my point is to dominate. Get your assignments right, get the eye discipline right, get the execution right, and the rest will take care of ourselves. We have way too much talent on defense to be repeatedly damaged by a UVA offense that has mightily struggled so far this year. Go out there and dominate. Reestablish ourselves as one of the best defenses in the country because they've struggled so far. This is maybe a get right for the defense. Last week was a get right for the offense. This week is a get right for the defense. I want to see some aggression from the defense.
Their offensive line is as tough as a medium done $200 steak from Sullivan's. You understand? This is not an offensive line that I'm thinking to myself, man, we got to scheme up a way to get home. I'm telling you right now, Grayson's key of dominate is very much so a valid one because, again, this offensive line has been shown to be very pliable. If we can stop the run, which every team has done so far this season to them, then we'll have some fun. But if we do not follow these keys, it's going to be an all-night thing, which is not a good thing for NC State.
What score do you have for the NC State-Virginia matchup this evening?
I've got 37-14.
Okay.
37-14. Yeah, I've got NC State taking this one by a good margin. And here's the thing. I know some people are going to say you're out of your mind predicting them to win by 23 when I want to say, what did we beat VMI by? What was it, 38 or so?
38, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. The reality is very simple to me. If NC State comes out with a disposition that they're ready to dominate, they would be just fine. And I think that Brennan Armstrong gets in there. I think he gets them ready to do that, and that's what happens there.
A lot of the score predictions I've seen so far this week are right around the same couple numbers, and mine is actually pretty close to yours as well, Kenton. I have the NC State Wolfpack taking this game on the road by a score of 34-16. I think we will be able to establish a bit of an offensive rhythm early. I think our defense is going to show up in this game. Again, we don't know if it's going to be Musket. We don't know if it's going to be Calandria, but I'm very confident in the defense, regardless of who it is, that we'll be able to apply enough pressure that we can turn them over a couple times. We can get in the backfield a couple times. And then from there on out, defense turns to offense, which we spoke about earlier this week. A couple things as we're closing this out here. We mentioned this before. We'll be going live this evening, Friday night. It will be a late one, but if you're still up, make sure to tune in with us. We will be going live immediately following this NC State-Virginia game. We will be tweeting out a link, so be sure to be on the lookout for that. If not, be sure to check our YouTube channel anytime around the end of the game. You should see that the red live light show up. If you see that, bounce on in here. You'll get to hear our post-game thoughts when we go online. So thank you all so very much for joining us this week. As always, make sure to hit that like button. Drop your comments in the comment box. Let us know what you think the score will be this evening up in Charlottesville. And as always, make sure to mash that subscribe button. And we greatly appreciate all the support we have received through this football season. It's been great interacting with so many people online here. So go Pack. Big game tonight on the road. We will see you all tonight following the game, our post-game live. Until then, go Pack.
Go Pack.